question now is, how much range do you really need?
For most people, that's like 40. So 151 miles in a Leaf, it's enough.
I completely disagree with those guys, and I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. All right, so so that video was taken from Edmunds report, where they had basically compared the Model 3 to the Chevrolet Bolt and the Nissan Leaf. They chose the Nissan Leaf over the other two cars. One of the guys actually said that he would be willing to give up range. The guy who was driving the Bolt said, I would give up range to have a better quality interior. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, whatever. I mean, really, at the end of the day, as long as the price is right, the range is king, always. Range is the most important thing that you can get out of the car. I mean, I don't understand why people don't understand that. You've got people on the gasoline side who understand that. They understand the importance of range. And then you have guys who maybe they're playing both sides, and then they feel like, hey, you know what? I only drive X amount of miles a day. Well, good for you if you drive only 100 miles a day. I drive a lot more than that per day, and I would really prefer to have more than enough range. Now, here's what's crazy, is the guy who was testing out the Bolt, he even said that even though it was a rated range of 238, he claims he got 334 miles out of one charge on that thing. Wow, that's all I can say. If he was able to pull 334 out of it, then I don't know what he's smoking to make him think that he doesn't need that range. You need all the range you can get with the EV, because whenever you can charge it, it takes forever. So the more range that you have, the better. That's why you want more range. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm fine with 150 miles of range. That's ridiculous. I would never want that. Believe me. I mean, you know, 250 rated miles or whatever with this Model X totally isn't enough for me. For me. Now, it might be a plenty for other people, but for me, it's not. I want, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it over and over and over. I want 500 miles minimum. 500 real world miles of range, and then, you know, I would be somewhat satisfied. But for someone to say, oh, I'll get an EV and I would give up some range for better quality as far as the interior goes, that's just ridiculous to me. I'm sorry, I don't agree with those guys. Listen, I know that's what they do for a living all day, but I also use this vehicle for a living. I also drive around like crazy, and the more range you can get, the better. And that's that. You know what? I'm going to drop the whole thing about range. I'm going to leave the range alone, and I'm going to go on to what happened to me the other day on the highway. I'm not proud of this, but I was texting and driving. I had the vehicle in autopilot, and I was texting away, dealing with something that's probably business related, but I was sitting here texting and took my eyes off the road completely while I was doing this. As everyone does when they're texting and driving. I mean, it's not a good thing to do. It's not a good idea. This Model X put on the brakes just inches away from an 18-wheeler, the trailer, because this guy was crossing in front of me and he stopped. And it really could have been, oh shoot, I did miss my turn, damn it. Okay, let me get back to that story. Let me just sort of start over. So I'm driving down the highway, and an 18-wheeler pulls out in front of me, and the car totally saved me. I mean, it jammed on the brakes just in time, kept me from from causing serious damage to this car, and kept me out of a sort of a Joshua Brown situation. No disrespect to his family by saying that, but really it was very, very close. When the car jammed on the brakes and I looked up, like, I was shocked at how close. I mean, the trailer was like right in front of me. Literally, if it would have followed through, it would not have been pretty at all. So instead of saying negative things about my experience as a Tesla owner, something positive for a change there. I mean, I'm really impressed with that. That was a really, really good save on part of the autopilot. Some other things is that the latest update, while it's still a little bit annoying with the constant nags to put your hands on the wheel, now when you put your hands on the wheel, it senses it almost right away without you having to even like tug on the wheel one way or the other. That works a lot better. So the mapping seems to be working better. It still needs some work with the navigation, but the mapping is working pretty well. The most recent update for the Model X, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong, I think it's 2018-24 1.0 or 2.0. Anyway, the most recent update that came out on June 26th is by far the most solid update that they've done. Okay, doing an autopilot test here. Cruising at 71. And any second now it should tell me to put my hands on the wheel because we're coming up on 20 seconds. And it still hasn't happened yet. Interesting. Well, can definitely go a little bit longer now than the usual. Okay, there it is. There you have it. Apply light force to steering wheel. So now watch, I will just barely touch it and it's gone. I mean, I don't even have to really, that was too much pressure what I just put on it. So they did improve it for sure from the last time here. And we're on the autopilot, which is a lot more lenient now, going into a curve here. See how this goes. It's all autopilot. I think I need to take the wheel so I can merge here, so. Trucks still look like cars. Brutally Honest Part 7 is being edited as we speak. Well, not as we speak because I'm driving, but I'm in the process of editing that, and I'll have it out definitely this weekend. I have some other things to report that are good and bad with the car, but I really want to stick with keeping it so that there's no confusion. I want to keep it in chronological order with the Brutally Honest series. So Part 7's coming up. There's going to be some stuff in there that you'll want to know about, and hopefully I'll quickly drop Part 8 right afterward. That's my goal, at least. And I will be in touch with you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July, or hope you enjoyed one if it's after the 4th by the time I put this video out. Thank you for watching.